Overcoming Recurring Misery. Chapter 1. Understanding the True Nature of Suffering. Dear seekers of truth, the first step on the path to liberation is to recognize the true nature of suffering. Suffering is not just the pain we feel when something hurts us or when we lose something dear. True suffering lies in the constant cycle of birth, aging, illness, and death. There are three types of suffering that we must understand. The first is the suffering of pain, the direct pain from illness, injury, or loss. The second is the suffering of change. Even our happiness is problematic because it does not last, never satisfies us, and we always want more. The third and deepest is the all-pervading suffering of uncontrollably recurring rebirths, where we constantly experience fluctuations between happiness and misery. Understand that the basis for experiencing these fluctuations lies in the type of body and mind with which we are born, again and again. Until we get rid of this basis, we will continue to experience the first two types of suffering. Chapter 2. The Mind as the Source of All Misery. The mind precedes all things. The mind is their master. The mind creates them. If the mind is defiled, suffering follows like a cart follows an ox. This is the fundamental truth you must understand. Suffering does not arise from the external world, but primarily comes from each person's mind. The main causes of suffering are greed, hatred, and ignorance, known as the three poisons. These factors lead people to live in dissatisfaction and uncertainty, making them susceptible to the cycle of birth and death. A mind defiled by greed, hatred, and ignorance will lead to wrong actions and words, creating bad karma and increasing suffering. To overcome suffering, we must purify our minds, practice a moral life, and cultivate healthy thoughts. Instead of blaming circumstances or trying to change external factors, we must focus on transforming our minds. Chapter 3. Craving as the Root of Repetition. Now, monks, this is the noble truth about the origin of suffering. It is this craving that leads to new being, accompanied by pleasure and lust, seeking pleasure here and there. That is, craving for sensual pleasures, craving for being, craving for non-being. Craving is like a fire that is never satisfied. The more fuel you give it, the more it burns. This craving forces us to cling to temporary states and things. We expect happiness from what is transient, and therefore we cannot achieve true happiness. Recognize that your misery repeats because you constantly crave what you cannot permanently obtain. Every satisfaction of craving leads only to new cravings. Every achievement of a goal reveals new goals you want to reach. Chapter 5. Impermanence and Attachment. Everything that is subject to arising is also subject to passing away. This is the law of impermanence that permeates all existence. Our suffering arises from our attachment to things that are inherently unstable. When you learn to see the impermanent nature of all phenomena, you begin to understand the futility of attachment. The flower that blooms today will wither tomorrow. The body that is young today will age. Relationships that bring joy today may change. Accepting this truth is not pessimism, but liberating wisdom. Practice observing impermanence in your daily life. Notice how your thoughts change, how emotions come and go, how your body changes. This observation will gradually free you from attachment. Chapter 5. The Path to Ending Suffering. Now, monks, this is the noble truth about the cessation of suffering. It is the complete fading away and cessation of this craving, the abandonment and giving up of it, freedom from it, non-reliance on it. The cessation of suffering is not an illusion. It is truly possible to achieve the real stopping of these problems and suffering by eliminating their causes so that they never recur. Liberation does not mean that you go to another place, to heaven or some transcendent sphere as a pure soul without body or mind, nor that you disappear into nothingness. Buddhism claims that your individual stream of experiencing things will continue forever. The goal is for this stream not to continue further based on uncontrollably recurring rebirths with a type of mind that will again and again experience fluctuations of happiness and misery. Chapter 6. The Noble Eightfold Path. Now, monks, this is the noble truth about the path leading to the cessation of suffering. It is this Noble Eightfold Path, that is, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This path is not merely a list of rules, but a complete way of life. Right view means understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. Right intention is the decision to abandon harmful thoughts and cultivate loving kindness. Right speech includes avoiding lying, slander, harsh words, and idle chatter. Right action means avoiding killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. Right livelihood is earning a living in a way that does not harm others. Right effort is persistent practice of developing healthy states of mind. Right mindfulness is constant awareness of body, feelings, mind, and mental objects. Right concentration is the development of deep meditation. Chapter 7. Compassion and Equanimity as Medicine. One of the methods frequently mentioned for overcoming suffering is practicing compassion and equanimity. When people treat each other with love and let go of insults, their minds become lighter and suffering disappears. Repay insult with insult, insult accumulates. Repay hatred with kindness, insult disappears. This is not weakness, but the highest strength. When you respond to hatred with kindness, you break the cycle of negativity. Cultivate the four immeasurable states of mind: loving kindness toward all beings, compassion for those who suffer, sympathetic joy in others' happiness, and equanimity toward all circumstances. These qualities transform your mind and free you from suffering. Chapter 8. Renunciation as Strength. What we are trying to achieve is called liberation. We want to gain liberation from uncontrollably recurring rebirths. What drives us to achieve this goal is called renunciation. Renunciation does not mean anger at our situation or anger at ourselves that I'm so stupid that I caused this. It rather has the flavor of boredom. It's really boring. Our moods go up and down. Sometimes I feel good and sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I'm depressed and sometimes I'm excited. How boring. Imagine having to be reborn and be a child again. How terrible to be a child again. You will wet yourself and won't be able to express what you want, except by crying. Not only is it terrible, it's also incredibly boring. This renunciation is based on understanding the causes of uncontrollably recurring rebirths, and that it is truly possible to avoid them. It is a very rational endeavor, not just a pious wish. Chapter 9. Transformation of Consciousness. The Dhammapada emphasizes that the root of suffering lies in the human mind. Instead of blaming circumstances or trying to change external factors, we must focus on transforming our minds. The way to transform the mind is to practice mindfulness. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice how emotions arise and how they pass away. Don't attach to them or reject them, simply observe them. Practice the three basic factors for escape from suffering: avoiding evil, practicing good, and keeping the mind pure. This is not only a moral principle, but a practical path to achieving liberation from the bonds of life. Develop wisdom through study and meditation. Wisdom allows you to see the true nature of reality and frees you from the illusions that cause suffering. Chapter 10. Achieving Inner Peace. The teachings of the Dhammapada, although they appeared more than 2,500 years ago, still retain their value in modern life. The application of these principles not only helps people face and overcome personal suffering, but also contributes to social harmony. When you understand and practice these teachings, you achieve a state where your mind does not become defiled by external circumstances. You will be able to maintain calm in the midst of a storm, find joy in simple things, and respond to life's challenges with wisdom instead of reactivity. True happiness does not come from satisfying desires, but from overcoming them. Inner peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of wisdom on how to deal with them. Liberation is not escape from the world, but transformation of the way you perceive the world. By learning and practicing Buddhist teachings, people can achieve inner peace and liberation from suffering, opening the path to true happiness. This is my final advice. Be patient with yourself, be kind to others, and never stop seeking truth. The path may be long, but every step brings you closer to liberation. Write in the comments, "I am freeing myself from my suffering," to confirm your decision to change your current state. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to the next video I am preparing for you.